Thomas's speech is very outgoing and very wild. I'd like to tell you a little bit about it. Thomas's speech would be talking about an engineer who is a civil hero, who is diligently fighting in the chaos and disorder of the universe around us, while his domain is usually in the laboratory developing glowing substance. Sorry about that. Today, he will shed some light on the utility of one of our best public services with a speech, "Enjoy the Ride." Welcome, Thomas.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Toastmaster. Normally I don't like talking about political topics, but I think that there is a civil matter that often goes overlooked that I want to discuss today, and that's the public transportation system. Public transportation is very important, and I'd like to illustrate some of the benefits that we all receive from having such an excellent public transportation system here in the Denver greater area. And then I'd like to give you some ideas on how you can help support the transportation system. First of all, it's time. Is your time valuable? My time's valuable. I spent 30 minutes a day driving to work when I lived in Atlanta, Georgia. And Atlanta, unfortunately, doesn't really have a great transportation system like we have here in Denver. It was 30 minutes to work, about 40 minutes back. That's an hour and 10 minutes of time every day. This is a lot of time over the course of the 7.5 years that I had this commute. I could have read so many books, and that would have been a much better use of my time if I had taken a public transportation like a bus or a train and been able to just sit back and read. The second thing is money. Everybody likes money, right? Well, it's $2.25 to ride a local fare in Denver. It's $5 to take a regional route, and it's to go about 2 hours, maybe about $13 from, say, if you were to go from the airport all the way to Boulder or something like this. It's a very affordable option to travel. If you're going to drive, or if you have a daily commute, like mine in Atlanta was about $7 a day, and plus I paid taxes, insurance, and maintenance on car. This all adds up. A car is very expensive to operate and own. So having a good public transportation system can help you save time and money. It also benefits a portion of society that wouldn't otherwise be able to get around. The elderly, the handicapped, or blind people. They need this to be able to do daily tasks that are hard to do if you don't have transportation. And consider this, the pollution. By having 25 to 30 cars that would be driven by individuals, take all those people and just put them on a bus, it's a far more efficient way of transporting people. It reduces traffic, and it also reduces pollution. I know I was hiking up at Second Flatiron a few days ago, and looking out over the horizon, past the windmills over at Denver, I saw this brown layer. And this is a problem that we have regardless of what city you live in. It's a problem having carbon emissions from cars. And one way that we can greatly reduce this is by having a good public transportation system. These are all really good reasons for supporting a public transportation system like the one that we have here in Denver, or bringing one to a place that doesn't have one like Atlanta. But none of these reasons are actually the reason why I'm giving this somewhat of an odd topic discussion tonight. The reason I'm talking about this tonight is because of drunk driving. I have a friend who was in an accident this week, and it's kind of unfortunate. It's very unfortunate what happened. I'm not going to talk about that, but the fact is that people often make the decision to drive when they shouldn't. There's nothing we can do about it. It happens. It's something that we have to deal with in society. I can't make somebody make a good decision. However, having a good public transportation system like what we have here in Denver is a really good thing, and let me tell you why. After living in a place like Atlanta that doesn't have this as an option, I can tell you that coming to Denver, being a young person like go out and drink a few beers and not have to worry about driving. The conversation that takes place amongst a group of friends in a place like Denver and Boulder that has this alternative method of transportation as an option, the conversation that takes place here is much different than what happens in a place that doesn't have this kind of option. Here, I find that people are very excited, very eager to say, hey, yeah, let's just take the bus because it's an option. There are lots of routes, all different times of day or night, and it goes just about everywhere. A place like Atlanta, the routes will take you sort of to different parts of the city, but it doesn't really go home, you know? And at the end of the night, that's where you want to go. Unfortunately, people are often left with this decision of, hey, our DD just got drunk, now do we take a cab? What happens? Consider this, in Atlanta we just passed 64. Marijuana is going to be very legal in the coming months, and people are going to partake. They're going to get high, and often they're going to drive. We can't really stop this, but we can do things in our society and our community to encourage people not to make these poor decisions. One of the ways we can do this is to have an excellent public transportation system. So I hope I've given you plenty of reasons why we should continue to support the public transportation system. And go Denver, you know, we have a good one, that's great. But I want to give you 2 ways that you can support it, the system. First of all, it's obvious, use it. If you have the opportunity to use the RTD buses, or I think there's some trains here, I haven't had the chance to use them yet, use them. That's the best way you can support the system. Did you know that you can go and download an app for your Android or your iPhone that will tell you how to get from point A to point B and all the routes that you should take? It's very useful. The second thing, and the reason that this is somewhat of a political discussion, is that anytime you have a public transportation system, almost always, it's subsidized with taxes. So we pay for it as citizens, tax-paying citizens. And sometimes it comes up in discussion within legislation, should we continue to support this system? As somebody who's lived in a place that doesn't have this, I strongly encourage you to vote to support public transportation if you're ever confronted with this option or choice to vote on this. When it comes down to it, we all spend a lot of time getting from point A to point B, many times a day, almost every day. And I hope that next time you have the opportunity to take public transportation to your final location, that you choose to stop and think about the time and the money that you'll save and the environment, and you choose to just grab a book and enjoy the ride.